He planted the seeds of the zombie craze now sweeping the planet. Now he's gained a level of respectability.
You mean it's not seedy anymore? Please don't tell me it's not seedy anymore.
The George A. Romero Interview on CJOB 68.
Welcome back to our conversation with George A. Romero, grandfather of the zombie. Night of the Living Dead set the tone for all the horror films that followed in the 1970s. George, were you conscious of trying to make some kind of statement about the troubled times of that era?
I think the anger in the film, and if there is any sort of real political message in it, it's about peace and love had failed, and our impression of mankind was that it was continuing to disintegrate, not improve. The issue with Dwayne, the actor that played the lead role, he was the best actor from among our friends, and so we wound up asking him to do it, and he said yes. And he was keenly aware of how much stronger the film would be because he was black. And we were sort of aware of it, but we kept saying, come on, man, it's 1968. We should be past all that. And we were naive to it.
Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
2 people are dead already on account of that guy.
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me.
It was only during the process of making the film that we started, because of Dwayne, to become aware of how strong it was. When I wrote the script, the character in our minds was a white guy. The same things happened to him. He got shot by the posse.
All right, man. Hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
We didn't change the script. We thought to ourselves, boy, we're being really hip by not changing this just because Dwayne is an African American. Never stopped to really carefully analyze how much stronger it was going to be. We finished the film in Pittsburgh, had an answer print, threw it in the trunk of a car, drove it to New York to show it to distributors. And the night that Russ Streiner, one of the producers, and I were driving to New York with the first print of Night of the Living Dead in the trunk of that car, and we heard on the car radio that Martin Luther King had been shot. And all of a sudden, bada bing, I mean, that then really made the film that much stronger again. And it's unintentional. I mean, I can't take certainly any credit for that. It was to some extent an accident. And if there's any credit that we deserve, it's just because we didn't change the script.
Very of its time. Like you say, the whole disintegration of the late 1960s ideal, it really holds up as a sort of a historical piece in a way.
Yeah, I was really looking for something. And again, I can't tell you how much the film business has a hell of a lot to do with luck. And the same thing happened there. People were coming after us saying, you have to do a sequel. And I said, wait a minute, I don't know. I have to really have a good idea before I ever go after a sequel.
Of course, after Night, you went on to make a number of films in the 1970s, including 2 horror cult classics, The Crazies, recently remade, and the acclaimed vampire story, Martin. But inspiration would soon be forthcoming for your next entry in the Dead series. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
He's the brains behind the zombie movie phenomenon.
No zombie has ever eaten brains in one of my movies.
No.
The George A. Romero Interview on CJOB 68.